has Luffy become like too powerful? And I say that because we were talking about this before, going over the fight that just happened in the anime between Luffy and Kizaru. And since this is like, post Wano, post Gear 5 Luffy, we've gotten to the point of where Luffy is no longer the underdog. Like, it's pretty interesting. He was always the underdog throughout the series. I mean, most of the time. It's like, oh, he's going to go against this big villain. How's he going to win? This guy's so powerful. Now it's like, what is the opposition going to do against Luffy? Because he's kind of just playing around with Kizaru. And before that, Kizaru was a big deal. The admirals were a big deal. But now, not really so much. I mean, he cleanly defeats Kizaru, in my opinion. That might anger some people, but when he hits him with the star gun, or whatever it's called, he like knocks him. And he's done. I mean, like, he goes on to do more stuff later on, but like, if Luffy wanted to, he could have just kept going. And to get into some spoiler stuff, later on in Egghead, he fights Saturn and Kizaru at the same time and just pizzas them. He messes with them. Like, it's not even like really that much of a challenge to him. And then before that, he was going against Lucci. That wasn't really a challenge for him. He's just dominating all of these really powerful people now. And it begs the question again, it's like, has Luffy become like too powerful at this point, or should he be this powerful?
Man, this is a mixed bag, right? Because I think there are a good handful of people. I should hold a poll about this, actually. It's such a good question. There's a good handful of people who think this is well-deserved, right? Luffy's been the underdog the entire series, like you said, but now that he's a Yonko, there are a good handful of people who don't want him to be the underdog anymore because we reached Yonko status. A lot of people feel like this is well-earned. And I don't think that's a bad mindset to have, by the way. I think Luffy does eclipse many opponents right now. I think the main problem, at least my problem personally, is that we don't really feel threatened by anybody, right? Like you said, Lucci, Kizaru, them together. We got Saturn showing up, the Gorosei show up. Like, nobody's really been able to push Luffy back. Whenever Luffy loses, it's because he runs out of stamina. Like, versus Kizaru, people are saying Kizaru won because Luffy's, conked. He can't move anymore. But he gets back up later, and it's like he's undamaged. There's just so many ways you can look at this whole situation. And it's tough because, like, even here in Elbaf, yeah, Summers, Killingham, Gunko, they look terrifying. Like, they're over here murdering people, right? They're the God Knights. But even them, people are just saying, oh, bring Luffy up here, it's over. Like, oh yeah, when Luffy, Zoro, Sanji shows up, it's cooked. Like, there's not even like a real debate. Like, I remember I held a poll about that one. Like, hey, like, if they showed up, like, would they win? And overwhelmingly, people were like, yeah, like, Luffy's just gonna dog walk them. Like, that's kind of where we are right now, where these Straw Hats, Luffy specifically, he might just be too strong. And the funniest part is that I think we're both on the same boat that Luffy's only going to get stronger, right? He still doesn't even know what he is. There might even be a Gear 6 because Oda's been doing the whole, like, 5-6 thing ever since Luffy was conceived. So, is Luffy strong? In my opinion, too strong? Yes, but that's all due to my personal preference. I do like the underdog feel, or at least I like an opponent being able to push Luffy. So far, we have not had that. The only person pushing Luffy to greater heights is himself because he doesn't last long, man. His stamina is not the best yet. But that's it.
Yeah, there are some checks and balances. It's not like he's Saitama or whatever. He does have that time limit to him, which is definitely needed. If he didn't have the time limit, then there would probably be a problem. But at this point, that's fine. It's needed. And I guess it is okay that he is this strong at this point because we have been going for more than 20 years of him getting destroyed, coming back, winning, and then sometimes getting beat multiple times and then coming back. But now, he's finally just gotten to the point where that's not really a thing anymore. And now he is the favorite and everyone else is the underdog. I don't think it's always going to be that way. We could possibly see somebody in Elbaf challenge Luffy. I mean, it's not going to be Loki because he's like recovering. I really don't. I don't think it's going to be the God Knights. Like you said, Summers, Killingham, Gunko. They're super formidable to anyone, not Luffy or on his level. I do think Luffy would probably dominate them if he fought them at this point, even though we have seen only limited feats from them. They just don't seem that strong. So I guess it's just going to get to the point of where Luffy is just not going to have to be there for things to escalate, which it's kind of happening right now, or we're just going to have to wait for him to fight the top tiers that are left. We actually made a video about this. I actually just released it 2 days ago, depending on when this comes out. It's called The Current Strongest Characters in One Piece. Those are the only characters that can really challenge Luffy at this point. Namely like Shanks, maybe Garling, maybe Aki Inu. But I'm mainly looking at Shanks here. Aside from like Emu, of course Emu can challenge Luffy, but that's years from now. Shanks, if that fight actually does happen, I do think Shanks is going to make Luffy be the underdog again. That's possibly why Shanks has been built up so much at this point. Like just, you know, we talked about 1,000 times.
Like a second main character.
I mean, he's Oda's main character. Like he's Oda's self-insert, right? It's like Sanji. It's like a mixture of Sanji and Shanks is like what Oda is or something. Shanks one-shotting Kid is what I was saying. That's just absurd. So somebody like that would push Luffy, right?
Oh, definitely. When it comes to Luffy, man, like another problem is that we don't see damage on him, right?
Yeah, that
like,
too.
Whenever Luffy fights in Gear 5th, we don't see the damage. I think that's one of the main things, which is, why we think Luffy has such an easy time with his fights now. But like whenever Kaido back in Onigashima, whenever he hit Luffy with Ragnarok, with Thunder Bagua, with all these crazy Conqueror's Haki coded attacks, you got the lightning coming out and everything, or the Bolo breath even, Luffy kind of just shakes it off. Like that damage doesn't stick. Luffy laughs at it. So I think that's another thing, right? Like you can't really tell what is affecting Luffy at this point anymore. We really just have to rely on the time limit because Luffy just bounces back. And then even when it comes to like the Celestial Dragons, like the God Knights, right? People cope for them pretty hard. Same with the Gorosei. And the thing is that I love the Celestial Dragons and Gorosei. You know, I those are my guys. I root for them. But even I understand that if they didn't have regeneration, man, like they're kind of cooked. That's kind of how it is, right? Like maybe they get stronger after they lose their regeneration. That could be a thing. I'd be down for that. But as it stands right now, like the minute the regeneration's gone, Luffy just kind of wins. I don't know. It's tough. Like I think the only person, like you said, that could damage and push Luffy would be Shanks, Emu, and Akainu. And Akainu's like a maybe. Akainu's like a maybe in my opinion. Yeah,
because it's like how much stronger is he than Kizaru? You know, is he like that much stronger than Kizaru? Because he got pushed to like super high diff by Kuzan. So it's not like he has proven that he is so far above the admirals to the point of where like he's, you know, definitively on the level that would be needed to defeat Luffy at this point, because we saw him go against Kizaru. So that makes me wonder. I mean, I'm just hoping, because he deserves to be that strong, but I just don't know if he's going to be.
He needs an awakening. I feel like Logias need an awakening to, quote, even the playing field against Luffy at this point. Because right now, I can't see how like they would win. Like they would literally need an awakening like Luffy got and just fight him in his own territory.
And Blackbeard, how could I forget? Blackbeard for sure has to challenge Luffy. I mean, in theory, he can shut down Gear 5 with the darkness power, right?
Yeah, no. I think Blackbeard is I'll admit, I think that's why a lot of people like Blackbeard and they look forward to the Blackbeard fight and they want him to be the final fight. And that's simply because it's like you said, like he could just shut down Luffy's powers. All those hacks, hacks that Luffy has, the Toon Force, the rubberiness, the imagination powers, that all goes away the minute Blackbeard shows up. And I think that's why people are looking forward to that, because we're going to get back to good old fisticuffs, right? We're going to get that Rob Lucci, Zephyr kind of fight again that people really like. And personally, hey, I love the goofiness of Gear 5th, but if you had to ask me, like I am like a, boxing MMA kind of guy. I love watching those fights. So if Luffy goes back to that, man, I wouldn't be complaining.
Me either. And I don't have a problem with Luffy's goofiness. It's fine. The only thing is that I just wish it was more explained how it works. I'm like a stickler for that stuff. I love when things are overly explained. So like when he starts like manifesting goggles and stuff and making the bats, I just don't know what to make of that. And it kind of bothers me in a way, only because it's just like, then what else can he do? Can he just do anything? That's my only gripe with it.
Yeah. I remember when Luffy grabbed the lightning, Oda actually gave a really good explanation for that. You know, because I was wondering how he was doing it. And
He
was like, yeah, like he rubberized the lightning, and that's why he's able to hold it. I was like, oh, cool, that's a good answer. Yeah, sure, he can do that. You know, rubberizing the ground so we can lift it up and do all these crazy things. But then there's a lot of things that don't make sense yet. Like you said, like the rubber bat. Like, did he rubberize the tree and then eat the rubber? Like, how does that work? Like, where do we draw the line? And then Oda has given some really ambiguous answers, like, oh, like, what's the shoal do? Like, what does this do? And then he's like, oh, it's Nika's imagination. It's like, okay. So pretty much he can do anything. It's, like I said, he's really only limited by stamina.
Yeah, that too. So that's pretty much it for this one, guys. I guess it goes down to the comments section. Hopefully it's civilized, but if it's not, I guess it's fine.
Personal preference.
Yeah, let me know in the comments, guys. Do you think Luffy is too strong? Should he be weaker? Or is the scale of power just going to keep increasing and then Luffy will not be the top dog anymore? Let's just get to the point of where there's a whole bunch of top dogs. Kind of like how it was during Marineford in a way, I guess.
Yeah, I would love it if Luffy was the top dog, but I think right now it's too soon, and we just need one person, in my opinion, to really push Gear 5. We need one person to just like really show Luffy that he hasn't mastered the Devil Fruit yet, because he hasn't. He doesn't even know what he has. He still thinks he has the Gomu Gomu no Mi.
Yeah. Oh, this is just me when I'm the most free or something.
Yeah, I'm free right now.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
I hope it's Loki. That would be cool. It's just Loki humbles him. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, but Loki also lost to Shanks.
He did.
I don't know.
He got stronger
for like years.
Sitting on the tree, he just got stronger just sitting there.
Yeah, it's like a prison body, right? He got a prison body now.
He did mental training. That's what Frieza did in Dragon Ball Super. When Frieza was like trapped in hell, he did like mental training and got stronger.
Yeah, mental training, and then he just trained physically for 1 month, and then boom, golden Frieza. And then hyperbolic time chamber for like 1 day. Boom, Black Frieza. Like, okay, cool.
Oh, yeah. Looking forward to Black Frieza. Looking forward to Black Loki, too. But, guys, again, let me know in the comments what you think about this. Check out Sai's channel. I'll have that in the description. And have a great day. We'll see you next break week.
Peace out, guys.